Hello everyone and welcome to the newest stream. We have got City Skylines on the docket for today, and unfortunately we load into the game where basically everyone is complaining about, let's see, not that one. They are, despite the fact that the icon is right above them, they are not actually complaining about anything. So we have got complaints that garbage has piled up. So let's see, we can already see that we have one landfill site here and one landfill site here that do not actually have any more space, and this one here is already 45% full. So last episode we did manage to finally reach a population of 7,000 people. So that does thankfully give us an incineration plant that we can use, which would also help with some energy issues. Now the only question is, where exactly are we going to put it? Because obviously we want it to be close enough to some of our facilities so that they will actually pick up the garbage, but on the other hand it has quite a wide ring around it for pollution, both noise and ground, I believe, which is unfortunate. So for the time being, I think if we... no, I don't want to put it there because then we'll just have all of the trucks coming probably off the roundabout. So if I put that there, and we can potentially start emptying this one out and we can see how things are going. And I see we have two people in the chat, so I'd like to say hello to you, and don't be afraid if you want to pop in and have a little chat. This is probably going to be quite a chill stream. I mean, there's not too much that can go wrong with City Skylines. Well, you know, aside from all the natural disasters that can occur. Speaking of, let's actually have a look. Oh, so I believe it was last stream we actually managed to have an earthquake of power 9.5 followed by a sinkhole. Oops, that was not the right one. No, that was definitely not the right one. I thought I had clicked on the level terrain. Don't want oops. But let's do that. And I could probably do with a little bit of softening out, just so that it's not too bumpy and whatnot. And yeah, that looks okay to my eyes. So anyway, we have put an incineration plant down. We will unpause the game for a moment just to see how things are doing. And we have a lot of trucks coming up and down here. How is our... where is it? Traffic doing? It actually looks pretty okay. You are sick, probably because there's some noise pollution coming off of there. Well, I wouldn't consider that too much noise pollution, but evidently it's either that or you're just generally sick because of obviously all the rubbish that's been piled up. That we'll have to go and see. Right, so one thing that I do want to try and achieve on this is we reached a population of 7,000 and got to a small city. What I want to do is to see if we can get up to the next milestone, which is reach a population of 16,000 people, which allows us a liberal arts college campus and also quite a few new options in terms of water treatments and power plants, and also train metro hub, which will give us a few more options for transport, which would be nice seeing as we do have a train line all the way down here. Okay, so our power is consumption 130 versus production of 183. So how are you doing? So you're actually not producing any power right now, so that's interesting. We'll have to keep an eye on that and see how it goes when it actually starts. Oh, there we go, 2 megawatts. And we have garbage reserves, 400,000. Yeah, we're taking quite a lot of rubbish here at the moment, so that's good to see. That should be well stocked up for the future. And also, seeing as we have a lot of money floating around, we can look into developing our little agricultural industrial zone here. Unfortunately, we are not quite high enough to start having the large crop fields, and I checked last stream, and really just having a bunch of the small ones is better because they are cheaper in terms of like cost per production rate, and also a lot cheaper in terms of the upkeep. However, we do have flour mill, kettle shed, milking parlour. One thing we did not do was that we have all of these crops here, but we don't actually have any animal pastures or anything of the sort. So I think if we put down, so that will store crops, and that will also store crops, so capacity 400,000 versus 300,000, 6,000 versus 12,000, and 16. Okay, yeah, it'll probably be easier just to put down a few. 5, yeah, let's go with 5 storage zones for that, and we'll add in 2 animal pastures for the time being, and change these so we have regular cows, and let's go for sheep. And let's just see if we can spot these being populated. Okay, that is just a fire hydrant there. So you are complaining there's not enough crops. Now, is that just because you need the facilities and obviously the raw materials? Probably yes. So storage 17 tons, and this has 300 tons each. So hopefully that will just resolve itself in the meantime. Let's see. So we are well over the resource units to level up, but we do need about 120 more workers, so that's going to take a few jobs. And yep, I just saw that these popped in, so those, there we go, look at those lovely cows and lovely sheep. So those now have the crops in or available there, so that will start producing animal products. So that, as I said, will store crops in it. So where do we have options to actually store any kind of animal products? Is there anywhere? We've got our flour mill, our unique factories. So a bakery, so we will need animal products, crops and flour, so we would need to put down a flour mill if we wanted that. Lemonade factory, we'd need an ore processing site, and that unfortunately looks like it. So warehouses for storing goods and products. Okay, so this looks like what we would need. So how much do these cost? 4,000 for 100. 8,000 for 250,000, and yes, double capacity, double upkeep rather. And then this is 400,000 or 16, but 160 a week, so that's not too bad. How? Oh my! Oh wow! Okay, that is rather. Maybe we'll go for something a bit smaller. Maybe we'll go for something a bit smaller. So these can be put outside of the industrial zones. So, no. Now the question is, I obviously want it to be close by, obviously, the exits for the town, because that is going to mean a shorter distance for everything to go. But I don't want it so close that it starts jamming up all of the traffic that we have. But I could put it over here by our standard industrial. So I will do that. So stored resource, there we go. Okay, there we go. So we can put in here that we want to keep you balanced on animal products. So we have some options and facilities to go through and check that we have like enough resources to use, and then enough resources that we can just sell. So you here, there is a dead person waiting for transport. So if we go over and check our healthcare, so okay. Right, we may have a slight little health crisis. So what can we put down to manage that? So we have one graveyard there. I think if we put another one, 2 off the road there. And what has happened to our power? Is that honestly just one of the fluctuations because of our advanced wind turbines? That is a possibility. So, so we have the options also as we got to 7,000 population for a geothermal power plant, which gives us 80 megawatts for 65,000 initial outlay and just over 1,000 a week. Or we can go for a solar updraft tower, which is a 90,000 credit initial output, but produces 240 megawatts for 2,240 credits a week. So that is pretty much 3 times the amount of power as the geothermal one for about 50, well, less than 50% additional outlay and about 50% upkeep. So yes, that is probably the most economical option. The question is again, where are we going to put this? So what is our zoning there? That is pretty much residential. So we want to avoid that again. Would it honestly just be worth putting it here in between our like storage zone and one of our water, it's not a water tower, a water storage unit? Yeah, go on then. And that does mean we don't need these little power pylons anymore, because obviously all of our power generation should now be connected. And that has unfortunately completely bottomed out, or almost bottomed out, the amount of money we have. But what it also has done is basically massively increase our power capacity. Like, that solar updraft tower could just power the entire town as it currently stands, just on its own, and everything else we have. Actually, speaking of that, we do have a little coal power plant back down here, don't we? Yes, so we could actually, let's see, so turn that off and then just outright demolish it. Rezone that tiny little bit so we can get a bit more industry back, though that probably won't be there for too long, as we could start saying that like all of this is industry 4.0 when we have the policies available. Let's actually have a look. So city planning, yep, we have industry 4.0 already. All industrial workplaces are for well and highly educated citizens. So yes, let's put that on there. What else can we do? We can put services. Let's do a smoke detector distribution, because even though it's going to be Tech 4.0, I'm still worried that there's going to be an awful lot of fires there. So free public transport. Free Wi-Fi only really does the mail options, which we don't have. Again, same with automated sorting. Taxation. There's not really anything we can do there. So we could encourage biking, get people moving around the industrial area via bikes rather than private vehicles. Similarly, we could do a combustion engine ban and try and push people towards using electric vehicles. Filter industrial waste. Yep, let's put that one in there. And no, we don't want to boost connections because we may already have a traffic problem. I can see loads of cars and vehicles jamming up at an intersection. And workers' unions, not for our industry area, at least not yet. So what is going on here? Why are we jamming up? So we still have 82% traffic flow across the city generally. So what are you all trying to do? Export agricultural... Okay. Right, so this is all trying to export agricultural products. Because we have all of this available. Right, so if I tell these ones to empty, which I have, and we say these ones are to fill, then we can potentially get rid of the 3 that we have down the bottom. These will stay up here for things like the animal pastures and production facilities, and we can remove these here, and hopefully, oh gosh, that is an awful lot of traffic. I might actually have to just build a bypass for that. It is just an absurd amount. So yes, I think I will start building a bypass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and bring that back down there. Bring that across there, and then down to there. Unfortunately, that is not going to be too perfect because we probably would like to increase this up to 4 lanes, but then speaking of that, that goes down to 4 lanes and that would need to go to 2, and then that would need to back up to 3, and that will lane mathematics. Oh, and that doesn't look that nice there. So if we try and move it around, try and move that, and I have put, as I put the modded tag in for this game, the mod is, as if you've watched any kind of City Skylines streams or videos, is called the Move It mod. And I will just do another one here called Traffic Manager President's Edition, and we will change our lane focuses here because we really do not want people going straight on this one. We just want people going into this lane if they are going onto the overpass and just exiting the city. Same onto that one. And then you would be... technically yes, you would be there, but... and so would you. Just to make things... you would be so straight and down there. Then into here. That is straight. And over there, and that is there and there. So let's actually just take a peek and see if that's going to resolve anything. I may also put the overpass from here. And we... okay, no, that is not going to like that too much, but we can put it there. Okay, and quick check again because that is a little bit in the way, especially as it is also on a pedestrian path exit, but we can move it around and make it a little bit nicer. And obviously, seeing as I have done that, there's a 2-lane 2 ways. Nope, we want 2-lane 1 way from here, just so we can get traffic moving at a decent pace. And that is not going to like me doing that because it is going to compel a lane that is in the way. So if we just move it back, adjust it, and then we can put it back where it is supposed to be. And just do a check of the laneage. That goes straight and that goes straight. And again here, we just want people who are going to be exiting from the city to just exit. So, oh, we've already got one truck that's decided to go off onto the overpass. Oh dear. There is no connection. Okay, no, that's good. We do have a connection across the entirety of the city anyway, so we no longer need these. So apparently what we do need is a of care. So citizens are falling ill because the ground is... Ah, yes. That would be a slight issue around zoning residential stuff there. So you know what we are going to do? Oh, they're going to complain about being sick. And we're just going to evict them. I know that is like the least helpful, least reasonable method, but you know what? Commercial zones aren't going to complain about that, so we will just change that all up. So now. The commercial specializations, office specializations. So we want ourselves to have a park area that is going to be round here. That is going to be covering where one of the cemeteries are, but that will be no issue. And we want this one. Let's see, what kind of park do we want this one to be? If I can remember the right option to click. So we have an option for a city park, amusement park, zoo, or we could honestly just do a nature reserve. Could be interesting. So what kind of things do we have for that? Like campfires, tents, another tent, viewing decks, shelters, camp towers. No, the thing is, it's like the sound of one is going to be brilliant. Like the sound of one, or having a nature reserve in the city sounds like it's going to be a great idea, but I don't think that's going to be what we necessarily want for this specific city. I don't want to put an amusement park in here either, so I will decide that we will obviously need to de-zone this area, because otherwise all of these houses are going to be in our way, which is sadly and unfortunately going to impact our population temporarily at least. And then I think, seeing as we unlocked some of the higher density zoning, we will start actually putting that around here. So that is just a generic or general park. And let's see. So we don't want any high-rise buildings around here. So where is that? Ah, okay, high-rise ban. Reach a population of 10,000, so we can't do that just yet. But what we can do is see our population reconfigure and figure out where they want to be. Now, I like this area as a potential, like, or more involved commercial area, because it is quite near to the city exit, and it feels like it will be an area that is more focused on like larger commercial buildings and the like. And I just completely rezoned that whole area as low density, didn't I? That'll get me for paying more attention, or not enough attention to what I'm trying to do, I should say. So, zone and rezone it. So this may cause an issue where obviously we've already got some some commercial areas complaining that they don't have enough workers. Let's dezone that because we don't want it right on the road there. So how is this traffic doing? That is doing a lot better. So we are still obviously having quite a few trucks and whatnot try and come through to the city, but exiting, it looks like at least some of them are choosing to use the overpass and just go onto the bridge and straight out of the city, which is good. And oh yeah, the bus route probably got destroyed at some point, but I need to completely redo that because that was not going to work. There's just too many people doing too many things. So essentially what I want to do is have like one bus route up here, one bus route here, and then one bus route here that also goes over to the industrial zone. So if you're over here, unfortunately, you're going to want to, or you're going to have to get on a bus here, get off here, get on another bus, get off here, get on another bus and go across. Or we can build up a bit more money and have a look at starting to get metro stations in, because I admit once I get up to a certain population in my cities, I do tend to lay on the metros quite thick. So it may be because I'm from London, but I just, you know, metro everything. You need to go more than like a few bus stops, metro. So let's get this in properly. So we want something that likely starts here. Now I have to remember to do the route the wrong way round, because I didn't actually set this to left-hand traffic. So one stop there, another stop there. Can we? Yes, we can come down that way. So unfortunately that won't be that good in terms of actual usefulness. Come down there and onto there, and then we can one, two, one there, one there, and one there, and then we can come back and start putting bus routes back on the opposite side of the road, which was probably also something that I was not doing correctly. I did notice that I was watching a few other people, and at least one of them did the or pretty much the thing that I'm doing here, where you create obviously a bus stop and then you do small or stops right next to each other, so that pretty much if you get on the bus you can then come back and do the same thing. So let's see. Do I have anything as I don't think I have a roundabout creator turned on, which is slightly unfortunate. So this is going to be a bit more rustic than necessary. And you come down here and do a little reform and pick you, and we can do, no, we're probably going to have to do the small roads. Hey, why are you complaining down there? The road's already... Okay, let's see if that makes any difference. Yes, it does. Okay, so we can put that there, use the dropper tool and upgrade that road, and then go back to our bus routes, and then hopefully we can. You are going to be fussy, aren't you? There we go, that's done it. We can put that there, put that there. And then the sole reason we put a little roundabout there is so that the bus doesn't have to go halfway around the city to actually reconnect. So we will let that run and just see how see how that route will run. We will obviously have a few buildings pop in and out of existence, seeing as we have de-zoned a couple of little areas. So if we put them back, but obviously not right on the roundabout itself, just so we can have a bit of free space. And oh my word, okay, maybe Industry 4.0. Okay, I am going to revert that. I am probably going to actually just, you know, go and delete this because it doesn't look like we've actually got a high enough education or enough educated workers for us to actually be continuing on that route. Just double checking our electricity. Our water is a fair bit low. So if we pop down another water tank just as a precaution, or water storage tank, connect that up, and yes, we are going to need another water pump. Because it was all connected up and then I changed it, so that is telling us we don't actually have it enough. So if I reconnect that and have a look back at our water when we get a moment. Okay, we have a tiny... oh, nope, there we go. That looks like it's all gone back to normal now. So, this is being a bit busy, but is that honestly just general traffic usage? We are at 84% traffic flow, so while we have some places that are busy, they are still moving, which is good. We may have to upgrade all of these roads at some point because they are technically like ring road access, so that is probably going to have to be a bit more mindful. We may actually have to do a road up here and then think about increasing the capacity of all of this just so we can actually have heavier traffic a bit more directed towards things. Oh, another fire. This, no, because I just de-zoned it. It will not have the fire safety, fire, what are they called? The fire alarms, smoke detectors, that kind of security safety things. So anyway, let's have a look here. So that is pretty much full. And gosh, why am I blanking on this? I put it down here. So that is only 12% full, however. And how are we doing? Oh, we are just about 50 jobs off. So we could go down here when we have a bit more money, naturally. Because we start the episode with a load of money, we end the episode with a small amount. So... oh, and we just dipped into the major negatives for some reason. Why did that just happen? Oh, okay, our electricity is 150%. So 3,300. Let's see. That goes down any. Please start going down. So we have 1,920 on our garbage collection facilities, 2,000 on our police. Pretty much everything thing should be fine. Okay, we are coming back up into the green. That is good. We have a tiny bit there. Yeah, you are complaining there's not enough educated workers. Well, you're going to have to deal with that for the time being. Seeing as probably our next priority is going to be doing a university, and if we are going to be doing that, because I have the Campus Life DLC, I would like to actually take some space and build up a campus ourselves rather than just plunking down a bog standard university building. And actually, due to that, so we do have the trade school available, and we will have the liberal arts college available when we reach a population of 16,000. However, a proper university campus area won't be until we reach 34,000. And then, oh yes, we need, or like to become well known for most things before we can actually get museums, and similarly quite a lot of the track varsity sports fields we need to have a decent population. So I have actually only really ever used the trade school campus area, and that was once when I was trying to build it, and I didn't have as much space as I thought I had available, so it ended up being a fair bit cramped. So I do wonder, is there any real difference between any of the different universities, or is it a bit more of a appearance? Oh, geez, I cannot think of words today. Alright, so is there any difference? It's like, do you get more money? Do you get prestige and renown quicker? Or is it just that it looks different and you can put different things down? A bit like the parks, I technically suppose, because you can, if you wanted to, just get away with having a bunch of the same park areas around. And the only difference between like the city park and a nature reserve is just the buildings that you really have available for it. So speaking of, let's see, we have a few high density residential buildings there, and obviously our anyone who was living around here has now gone. So let's consider we have 22,000 and we are making almost 6,500 a week. Yep. So taking those two loans would be 650,000. Not 650,000. No, I would not want to take the loans if it was that expensive. 650 roughly a week in interest, and it would give us 80,000, so we'd have 100,000 to play with. But city parks do open like pretty slowly. You have to have people coming in and visiting like over a certain steady period. So how big is this? So we could put that right next to the... Okay, there is apparently still a tiny little bit of zoned land there. Thankfully no one would build on that because they can't actually get to it. Okay, that is dezoned and those should be disappearing in a reasonable amount of time. So do we go for a park main gate which costs us 5,080 a week, or do we do just a small one? So the main gate allows tickets to be sold and connects the park area to the road network for easier access and maintenance. And then obviously once we've plonked down a main gate, whether it's the big one or small one, we have our side gates. And obviously we have all the different buildings that we could put down. Okay, I think I looked over here and I debated on it. I'm going to dezone those. And I am going to put our main park gate there. So we plop that down and we immediately have 5 new buildings that we are able to access. And if we put the... Okay, so we do need a tiny bit more access here. Nudge that back down. Same over here. Increase that and make sure we get into the corners. And then... Oh, too far. Bit too far the other way. Delicate balancing game this. Or balancing act. Go there and reach into that corner, nudge it back a bit. Nudge that back a bit. Okay, so we want our main gates to kind of be over here. Over here. And probably over here. And as this is going to be a paid park, we do want to make sure that we have all of our gates and everything properly set up. So that is trying to snap the guidelines. So if instead we do fill it, no, and do that instead. So okay, I'm going to need to move that one. I did have a thought. Oops, no. Not the move it mod, the actual move. So put that back down there and we can start building up. And don't worry, I'm not going to be spending the entirety of this stream building up the park. What we are going to be doing is putting down the basics in anticipation of having our main tourism section set up. And if I put that there, can we? Yes. We can fence that little bit off. So we may have to be a bit careful because pedestrians can kind of yes, it looks like they're going to be coming in and doing a tiny bit of glitching through, which we don't always necessarily want. So if we put that there and then we delete this, so there is a little bit of like a grassy walkway that they can go across, but they wouldn't be going into the main park area. I hope. I very much hope. And obviously I don't care about that too much at the moment because people are not going to be paying or not paying. Okay, they are still glitching through there. We move this off the corner once again. Move there. Move that. And then and there, and then back up across here, and then just in case we will put a second fence around this area. And there, and okay, I put this one a bit back from the actual street, so that should be fine. People should not be switching through that, and let's just keep an eye on here. I'm slightly glitching, but I can probably deal with that if we just make it a tiny bit more inwards. And that looks good enough to me. So we will need to come back to this at a slightly later point and start filling in what we are going to want to do, because we will need areas and parks. So if we put in info booth pretty much straight on to our main entrance gate, and we can leave that there. And we probably would also want one at this corner here, because that is the furthest away from the other ones. And there. And put in a public plaza, again facing the same way, so we can have that right nicely next to the public air, or the information booth. Put in a small bit of a path, and that will be the start of our park district. So for the moment, because there's basically nothing there, we will put ticket prices down to 2 units, and we will focus on some other areas for the moment, which includes having a look at our residential areas and zoning, because we probably could benefit with turning some of these into more high density areas. So my plans for pretty much this area was to have it as like an old town, so more older historical buildings, lower rise areas, and then probably like really high density high rise buildings here, getting a bit lower, using districts and policies to make sure that the ones that are close to the water side don't get too tall, and then start zoning the waterside areas as for tourists and other people, obviously, to come in, give us a bit more money and help us gain a bit of interest. So, well, we have unfortunately dipped down below 7,000 because of all this, or all these changes to the residential areas. So I will pause for the moment, and I will dezone the areas that I want to turn into higher density residential, and then we will obviously be able to bump up the speed a little bit and wait for that to come through. So let's just do that. Zoom in and see the magic at work. Wow, okay, that one went pretty high initially. Obviously we are going to need to keep an eye on our general facilities. So landfill storage, 21, call it 22 out of 24. Unfortunately we have a processing capacity of 48,000 units, so it might be worth coming through here and adding a recycling centre, because how much can that process? 24,000 a week. You are saying space is already occupied, but what is it occupied? Oh yes, the weather radar. That would explain it. Let's see if we can actually just move that around a tiny bit. And then we can add, yep, a second recycling centre there. So that should double our garbage processing capabilities. And then hopefully once we get a bit higher, So that's a waste transfer facility and a waste processing complex. So that probably can't really do anything, so that lessens water pollution. Not really useful for us. Basically, we want to focus on incineration plants and recycling centres, and obviously try and move things away from landfills, but that is probably not going to be like really possible, I don't think, unfortunately. So anyway, back to Pine Grove. So we've had a number of workers drop out. So again, if we pause, go back to our industry areas, and let's see what can we do. So that does 2,400 for 750, 3,200 for 12, or a milking parlour does 4,000 for 14,000. And that is just a tiny bit bigger. Yes, unfortunately that is a tiny bit bigger than what we have available. So anyway, if we put down, I was going to say 2 of them, but we don't have enough money for that. They produce 70 jobs each. And these produce 25, so when we probably a bit more, I think we will put 2 more. So we have a milking facility, so we have 2 pastures, milking facility, 2 pastures, and then some additional buildings that we can put to the side for it, maybe some more production or processing facilities. And then hopefully we can start getting this up to a level 4 or a level 4 farming industry, which would be nice. And then we can start looking into creating other industry types. So we have been going for almost an hour and I have made basically no progress towards my ambitious goal of trying to see if we can get to 16,000 population today. So do another one there, and that has just done standard cows, so let's do Highland cows for there, and let's do pigs for that. But actually, if I'm going to put a milking parlour right in the middle, I might as well actually swap them around so we can vaguely say that all the cows here go into this bit, or they help keep our milking parlour going, and then we have the sheep and the pigs on the outside. Just keep an eye on our traffic, looking good. 84%, looking good. And where can we build some more stuff? Because obviously one easy way to build up the land value around here would be to create our bus lines. So let's actually go ahead and do that. And put up a few things. Oh, nope, I didn't want. Slipped a tiny bit just before I want to put it down where I wanted it to be. So, and I think for this one I will probably do the opposite of what I did for the previous one. So we will create a clockwise line, and then we will create a counter clockwise line, so that is going to technically be 2 different routes going across, but that should give us not necessarily the same coverage, but a similar system where people can kind of like get off one bus, hop across the road, and then get back on the other bus. So that is only serving the outside ring, so I would rather, if we could, maybe move that into there. move that into there. Yes, put that into there. Okay, leave that as it is, but put down a stop into here. And into here, and then I know what I just did. So this is the counterclockwise one. So if I go back and delete that one, and then we just do the same thing. Oops. Create a new line and just put all of the stops on the opposite side of the road as much as we can do so. And then I will be colour coding these in a short while, so we will know which routes are in which areas. And then also we can start pairing them up as well. Okay, so let's see, our bus line 1 was to the industrial area, so we will call that Old Town to Industry, and we will call this one North Line Clockwise, and this one North Line Anti-Clockwise. And okay, yes, that does take a few things. So if that one down by the industry is going to be yellow, then do we want orange and this to be red, or do we want that to be yellow to green to blue and we just leave this one as blue? So darken the clockwise one, and or lighten the clockwise one and darken the anti-clockwise one. Yes, that looks good to me. And then we can come back down here, and if we start adding our next bus route, so that one, if we start that there and then bring it up, and we do want to have one that more or less touches this one. You should be able to, yeah, there we go. I was going to say you should be able to just intersect that, so we can come down there, come down there, then we can do this and swing into this area, come out to here and connect back up, and then do the same in reverse. Doing it in reverse is a lot easier because I can obviously just see where I've already put the lines, put the stops, and I just find that, go to the opposite side of the road and plonk one down. And then we wanted one there. And then come back down here to there, to there, and another line completed. So this is, yes, because that is circling the park. So we'll also call this one City Park Circular C, and oh, so no, not City Line. Park Line Circular C and Park Line Circular A, and we will change this to green, so a darkish green, oh no, a lightish green. I forgot my own rules there for that one. And then down here, yep, that looks fine, and we will obviously leave that running and see how things progress. So what policies can we add here that would potentially help us? And so free public transport, we don't necessarily want to do that. And park maintenance boost, yes, because we obviously have that area. And where did we have any other districts? So we had Magnolia Park there. And then I think I said that I was going to set this one as a like schools out zone. Would that be under city planning? No, it would not. We want services, so schools out. So we don't want this to have an education boost. We do want to say free public transport on this one, because obviously if they are going to be going over to the industry area, we want them to be able to use that. And park maintenance boost, we don't want to be doing that. Helicopter priority, the services will always use helicopters instead of ground vehicles, so that could be quite interesting where you have your like quite a lot of parks and whatnot around on the outside of your city. So where are our education facilities? That, so we do have a primary school there. Oh my goodness, okay, that might be why we are so stretched on our education. So we could put something in here. We don't really want to put it right by all of our recycling and facilities. So do we actually have a higher capacity primary school? No, that takes 250 and that takes 300. So I know why obviously you wouldn't really want a high capacity primary school, because high capacity primary schools just do not really work. So if I plonk it down, say next to, that's going to destroy 3 buildings, and I don't really want to put it on a end road, and I don't really want to put it on a connector either. So actually, if we say we put it up here, we still have a bit of space for a couple of houses nearby. Actually, I will de-zone those because that just doesn't feel right to me, and just de-zone that. Just so we have a bit of space. And actually, do we have a tiny little park that we could put next to it? Do we? So Bouncy Castle Park, not without demolishing something else. No, Carousel Park. No, is that, I swear there were like some teeny tiny little parks that you could put down. So was that Magicka theme park and a baseball court? Nope, neither of those work. Yeah. One thing I was thinking of doing before this stream was going in and doing like some of my own little assets, like small parks and like ones that were more like, well, rectangular rather than square, so like small little ones that you could potentially like squeeze in here or something, because at least here in the UK, parks do tend to be a bit more organically shaped rather than rigid. You're complaining that you don't have enough customers. Well, we've just put in some high density residential, so that, oh, okay, so even though we just put down the absolute basics on a city park, it's already reached level 2. And we are at 9,500 population. So we almost are at our small city. So the next population goal, though not our goal necessarily for this stream. So let's see, can we actually, okay, we can purchase another square. And do we get another one at a small city? No, we do not, but we do get one at a big city. So I may just decide to keep it where we are for the time being. And I will start actually zoning in our areas a bit more properly, because we are going to want to have some more sections and have things being a bit more organic than they are at the moment. So the policies that we have here, okay, apparently I'd already applied schools out for that one. Encourage biking. Old Town, what does that do? I cannot remember. Obviously I set it for a good reason. Only residents and businesses can use the area for motor vehicles and ban other traffic. Okay. So then we also want to have a highways ban in this area, but not this one. So small business enthusiast, big business benefactor, industrial space planning, high-tech housing and highways ban are all going to be available, hopefully almost imminently. So if we put in our new redistricted area, for lack of a better term, so that will go across to there and probably down to about, oops, nope, I didn't mean to create that as a new district. I meant to just come down here and do that area. So this one is going to be, okay, we definitely don't want NIMBY because this is going to be our actual. So do we want to potentially let go of leisure? So they stop generating tax income but get a hefty boost in entertainment and attractiveness. So if we do a tax relief for low density commercial, and yes, let's get rid, oh gosh, let go of leisure, so that will be more appealing to all of our tourists. And then, oh, there we go. So our agricultural area has reached level 4, so we have now unlocked a clothing factory, a farm maintenance building, a large barn and a slaughterhouse option. Okay, so we'll leave that for now and go back here and see what new buildings we can put in. So there we go, a large barn, capacity of 500,000 for 18,000. That still just stores crops. Oh, and we have reached a small city. So we've now got available trains, monorails and cable cars, as well as level 6 unique buildings. A bunch of things related to monorail and cable cars, obviously. And a bunch of public transport options. A yoga garden and a hydro power plant, as well as a basketball arena. So we'll have to look at the basketball arena and see what that is going to be like, but for now we had a slaughterhouse, 16,000, and creates 4,800 a week, which doesn't overly seem worthwhile to me. But then we also have, it would be in the unique factories. Nope, that's the lemonade factory. We already had that one unlocked. There we go, the clothing factory. Animal products, crops and plastic, which we would need from our oil industry. So that's a small shame. But let's just see how we are in terms of leveling up. So we pretty much have produced the resources we need until the next level. So let's get a flour mill or 2 built in. And we can fit one in there. That's good. and that will produce 4,000 units. And then what can we do with just flour? That's a kettle shed, a milking parlour, slaughterhouse, which we've seen. The unique buildings, we could do a bakery, which we could fit up here. Come on, behave. And then warehouses. Warehouse yard, nope. Nope. So we could potentially fit that there if we really wanted to. And just remind me again. Yeah, so I think I will put that there. And we do have enough space to expand out here and create a bit more. So, stored resource, and we just honestly want to have farming products and keep it balanced. Just so we have a store of things. So we obviously have the flour coming in from the flour mill via the crops. Hopefully some of the crops and flour will be stored here, and then we'll obviously have and animal products, and then we will have all of this creating our lovely unique stuff, which is just labelled as pastries. Now let's go back here, and we wanted to make sure that we had a high-rise ban here, so it restricts buildings from being upgraded to the highest level. We could also do high-tech housing and small business enthusiasts. Let's go for that one. Just to make it a little bit more interesting and unique, we are already doing a tax relief for low density commercial, so that should make things very, very appealing. So they lower the tax rate by 2%, and then they also double their sales at a cost of 2 cents or 2 units per low density commercial building. However, I will also put a smoke detector distribution down for this area, just so that we hopefully have a little bit more security against fires. So we have got quite a lot of usage down here, but this may just be because of our newly put down high density residential. That may just be people moving in and the like. So we will not ignore it, but we will come back and investigate and see if that is an issue later on. So we are saying that we need some more industry areas. And so I'm just trying to think. I think obviously, seeing as this is going to be our tourism area, it will probably be a good idea if we can actually get our railway line connected up somehow. We do have, yes, we do have trains. So we have a standard train station and a cargo terminal train, and then also train tracks and a train line. So, train station allows tourists to travel to and from the city, place the station and connect it to the rails leading out to allow trains to come and go automatically. That will cost us 45,000. And then we also have train tracks, which are cost of 60 for a two-way train track and 40 for a one-way train track. Speaking of trains, we can actually see one going by right there. Then obviously if we have a tourism thing, we probably want to have effectively a bypass, or not a bypass, but another branch off wherever. So yes, I think I was saying in the last stream that we would ideally want to have another highway connection kind of coming across here and circling around, and then we can have our intersections coming off that, because if we have obviously that one and that one are quite close by, and I think that is... No, I mean it's busy, but it's not really jammed up. It's just trying to be aware that these may have a bit of an impact being so close together. So we could... Sorry, just random tankers caught my attention. We obviously have the railway line going just completely off the map. And I am just wandering around having a look at things because I am trying to plan. So I may actually go away after this and have a look at our systems and start detailing in, like take an actual screenshot of this area and I either get it on my computer or print it out and actually have a look to see where things are going. So that may be what we do, but for now I think we could probably have a think about some other industries. So I know I said I was going to wait until we had our next area available, but I'm going to purchase that. And for now, let's just see. So we have our ore industries and we have our oil industry here. So I said previously that I've actually turned on the options in the game. These options are available by default. They are not a additional mod that you have to download. So we have unlimited oil and unlimited ore because I was just when I was playtesting and building up my industries, I just got so fed up. I just got so fed up with having to move all of the oil stuff around that I just went, okay, yeah, next time I'm just putting it on unlimited. I don't care that it's unrealistic. Okay, so we have our three-way intersection here. So I will delete ourselves a bit of highway here so we can fit this in. That was not quite enough. And let's see where best. Obviously we want... Yes, I think that would be the best place for it. And no, I don't want trees. I want a freeform road. We can do that and that, and don't worry, I am going to be turning the roads back around. I'm not going to be leaving it just like this where there's a small section where it's the wrong way. Just click that there and click that there, and I'm embarrassed to say it took me way too long to realise that if you had a one-way road selected, you could just right-click and it turns it the other way round. That was so embarrassing. So anyway, I have got masses and masses of intersection options from the workshop on Steam because I am terrible with intersections. I am not going to spend my time trying to figure things out. I am having a look to see if there's a tiny little roundabout option here, but this looks like the only one that is really available. So never mind, we will just create our own one. So we want probably a medium road, and we don't want any kind of parking options. Bike lanes, I can't really see people coming down here and obviously cycling. That just seems a little too ambitious, seeing as this is going to be an industrial area. So we will go for a medium road, 4-lane, one-way or 3-lane. Let's go for a 4-lane road. And as this is probably going to be industrial A and industrial B, we will have residential here and residential here. That means we are going to probably want quite a large road area. So let's go 12,000 there. And then that's not actually going to be okay. Never mind. 640 and 640, and then we will come back in here. So roundabout goes this way and that way. Delete the inner areas, and then we can bring these roads down to intersect. Oh, come on, play nice. Come on, play nice. So that is connected up to there, and then we can do spoke 1, spoke 2. Actually, if I'm talking about it, we might as well just put them tiny little ones down there. So spike 1, spike 2, and we could probably do spike 3, spike 4 as a big road to go down the middle, and then spike 5 to come down here for the ores and then connect up back to this area. That sounds good to me. And connect that there and connect that there. Okay, that's going to be a bit fussy. And yep, let's do that one down there. And not necessarily the neatest one, but never mind. And then we will probably need to get ourselves some... Okay, which roads have some kind of bicycle lanes? That's got a median, decorative grass. That's got bike lanes. Ah, so that's a small problem. I put my industry here so close to all of that that it won't let me build the road, so we may need to put a new one down. Not going to be an issue of in and of itself too much unless I have all of these buildings in the way. That was not good forward planning, but what we can do is basically say that we are going to turn on snapping once again, and then we will build there and up to here, and then okay, that is going to cost 16,000 across there. So we had ores in all of that area, so we can section off, and I said we were going to do a big road down here, but probably we want to do more something that is going to connect up a bit nicer. And yes, despite the looks, I know some people were looking at that and kind of going, it's like, I'm not so sure about that, but I actually quite like it. It makes a difference to having all the bridges. So yeah, so we will put that there, and we will need to demolish and rebuild probably some of this area and have a bit of a planning session next time, I think. Because we have been going on this for an hour and a half, and again we are nowhere near our target, but we could actually make this into another little high density residential zone, so let's do that. And obviously, as it is going to be high res or high density, we want to make sure that we have roads that will have the capacity for it. So that is an industry road that is going to be quite noisy. That's going to have no parking. People aren't going to be happy about that. Got bus roads and tram lines and 3-lane one-way roads. Yeah, one of these days I may actually just come in and have everything on from the start and just use all of these assets and everything that I have and just build a city from that and not have to worry about making sure I have all the right facilities and the options and rebuilding and everything. We can plan it and go, and that would be quite nice. So, basic 2-lane road with a median, no parking spaces. 2-lane road with bicycle lanes, supports low traffic. Basic 2-lane road with additional centre turning lane, no parking spaces. 4-lane, there we go, 4-lane road, bicycle lanes. That is what we want, more or less. And then once again, if I make things a little bit organic, because this is more than likely going to be following the curve of the river. And then we can put that back down there, turn it back to straight roads, put that there and that there. Thing is, I extended beyond where I thought I was going to be. So we can make that curved and then just do a straight back down there. Oh, that looks pretty nice to me. And we obviously have cycling, so we have quite a few opportunities for people to come through and be nice and healthy. That goes across to there, and we could probably do another one that comes over to there, and then another one that comes up to here, and then we can add on so only bikes are allowed on that path, and this is a pavement option. Put that there. Okay, that may not actually be and that, okay, yes, that can fit there. That may be too high, so delete that, and then yep, okay, that fits fine, but it does need to be a bit better on terms of where it's actually going to curve down, so then we can pretty much continue this across. So where is the minimum distance? Okay, there. So if we just do across like that, and then across like that, and then like that, and then curve it round a bit and come back down. I will adjust that with move it because I'm aware it looks a bit funny. And then back over to here. Okay, that needed to be up a bit more, so rather than actually dealing with that. Okay, no, that still needs to be up more. There we go. And then this we will put again as a little bit of a curved road. Oh, I use the right controls and then come back down to there, and then we can do that. So we have some semblance of a like public pathway. I want it to curve a tiny bit, but you're not going to do that, are you, without being fussy? And then we can grab the move it tool and okay, that is wobbling a bit more than I necessarily wanted it to. We said we were going to come over here and adjust this a bit. That looks okay. That. Yes, this was the one we said we were going to adjust. There we go. That has a nice little elevated walking pathway. Make sure we have our water facilities come through. So we are going to obviously need that for the industry areas as well. That can just come straight through to there. Then that can go across to there. That can go across to there. And there. And then that can come again across to there, down to there, and just finish it up with a connection to there. And that covers all of it, and we just will need a tiny bit of electricity. So if I start zoning a couple of areas, I will leave that as a commercial like that. Then grab the paint tool and paint all of these areas in. Drag across a little bit of electricity and wait for that to start building up so we can see how it goes. We may not actually need those pylons there because it should come down here and connect across to the agricultural industrial zone, but we can see how it will go. And of course also with oh well, okay, I did not get a notification about that. Oh no. Ah, right, okay, I see what's happened, because obviously right, we will need bridges there because this has just completely screwed up. That would be why I never got a tsunami warning, because there was going to not be any kind of tsunami. Whoops. My bad, everyone. My bad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh. There go my hopes of getting to 16,000 population today. Oh. Whoops. Thankfully, it looks like it is just flowing through and there hasn't been too many incidents. We do have a disaster response unit because I put that in there after our earthquake and subsequent sinkhole. So this should be flowing. Unfortunately, it looks like it's flowing into people's basements, but no one should have been affected too much. And yes, let's build those again. This time, let's see, forces elevation of the road. Nope, we want to make sure we actually have bridges so water can flow. Yes, water needs to flow. That might be, you know, vaguely important. You know, maybe. Just maybe. Oh, that was a bit of excitement. While we were doing that, yes, indeed, we no longer need these electricity pylons because they are connected to the network in general. So for now, if we put this as some high density commercial, put this as some high density residential for the time being at least. Same here with that section there. And this long section across here. I'm just trying to keep in mind where I potentially want my industrial... I keep on saying industrial. The commercial zones. And you're complaining you got no electricity. Well, I'm sorry, it's not my fault no one decided to build here first. Hey, you're gonna be fussy. Look, there's someone building there. And we are at maximum speed anyway, so... Hey, I'm gonna have to clip my accidental flooding of the city. So we do have a problem here, which is obviously there was an intersection there and then an intersection all the way up there. So we can actually, yes, we can move that up. So then we should be able to take this and draw it down there. And then remove those. Move these when we have the options. I don't really want to put it right up against the new roads that we just built, so I could actually almost revert what we just did. Then yes, because that wasn't necessarily complaining that they didn't have a road connection here, they were complaining they didn't have a road connection across here. That makes sense. So then I just put the roads down like that, and then we just need to find some place again to put this. Slight annoyance. If we put that there for now, then you will need a bit more of a road. And there should be fine. So we are low on flour, but I don't see why. Is that just because... can I actually see? It doesn't look like I can see what's in there. Again, slight annoyance. Oh well. So I swear I saw like industry roads. Was it here? All the way at the end here. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Hey. Okay, nope, that wasn't there. Those are alleyways. May have been closer to the end of here, but nope. Gosh. There it is. Okay, but that won't actually fit there. So we need to move this back to be able to actually use the industry road. And then... no, because that still leaves an intersection too close by. I don't like that. They're just going to have to deal with having to wander around here. But then again, it is pretty much enclosed. It's all on this road loop here, so yes, I think I will be happy with that. Except for the fact that this doesn't actually have a power connection anymore. Hey, me and my decisions are not going too well today. What is going well is our population. We are almost at 12,000 people. So the industry, I may like take this road out, move it up here, and then put another little section of industry off here, and we can also have another bypass overpass just for that industrial section. No more flooding over here. Now, apparently there are some cars which are coming down here to this residential zone. And yes, I think this is going to be a high-rise district area. Like deliberately high-rise. And for more residents and the like, rather than a tourism area like it's going to be down here. So at 12,500 out of 16,000. Now, last time I did stay on for just a bit to make sure that we had our extra little population boost. Maybe down here I want to add another industrial zone. Is that too much? Is that too much? Okay, I can see some garbage signs being flung up. So, yep. Landfill sites are full again. So where can I place this one? Now that worries me because it is a bit too close to the water. Well, we've just put a brand new road network, so let's just put that one down there. Another incineration plant. Where can we put that one? Again, if we just put it next to the general power network. And the recycling centre. And oh yes, you are going to need some kind of facilities, aren't you? So where? Okay, so my commercial is over here, so I could actually plot down 2 little recycling centres, and that will bump us up a little bit. So a firehouse, let's put that there. A police station, let's put that there. Healthcare. Oh, we still don't have enough people for a crematorium. Let's put that there next to one of the pedestrian routes. And a little medical clinic. There. So that should give us more coverage and capacity. And speaking of that, we can put in a hospital. It's going to be cost us 65,000, but we can afford it, and you know what, we probably need it. So if we put it more or less in the center somewhere. It's like right opposite a landfill site. No, that's probably not going to be that well received. See, the problem with this is, even though it takes in a much larger population, it's still not going to cover quite the same amount, and I don't want to put it over here because that will interfere with our plans for the tourism. Okay, So if I put that down there, because that is obviously going to be where we have quite a lot or hopefully going to have quite a lot of our population. And then this one, let's actually wait for that to click in so we can see. And then if we put another one down there, that should be fine. How is our fire coverage doing? Fire hazard, 28%. How is our emergency or police doing? So prison, oh, for 120,000. Actually say how many people it can hold. That's interesting. Oh, education. Did I actually ever put down? Yes, I did. Okay, I did put down a second elementary school. So capacity of 600, though 1,300 or so are eligible. High school still got a decent amount. And then university, over 2,000 are eligible. But like I said, I want to actually build in our own university parks. And seeing as we actually have quite a lot put into this small little farming zone, we can extend it out a bit here and have it potentially along this main road, but we won't potentially need another one, and even if we do, we can just set down another industrial district. We have some traffic building up. We have an 80% traffic flow. So let's check our traffic routes. Oh, wow. Quite a lot of private vehicles are coming in. And again, that does look like potentially it's just because we've got a load of new people coming in, seeing as they are essentially coming in from off the map. A load of pedestrians are using the walkways, which is good. We are also having a load of trucks coming through the city. And obviously city service vehicles as well. And oh yes, let's actually go and have a look at some of our bus routes. So, oops, no, I don't want to hide that. I want to see it, and we can hopefully wait for the next bus to come along. There we go. So let's follow this one and see how it does. Because one of the other things that I've been informed about is that if you actually sit on the bus route and have a look, you can see where all of the busiest stops and sections are going to be, and see if you need any more capacity, if you need to put down any additional lines. Okay, that one there that I saw there, that looks busy. So we actually just see this one because this is the one that does the loop to the industrial area and then comes back. So distance travelled online. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Which bus lane is that? Oh my goodness. Okay, so that is the green circular A. Oh wow. Oh wow. Anyway, we probably shouldn't get distracted with that. Let's continue on here. Okay. See. Yeah, speed up a bit more so we can actually pass through. There we are, going into the industrial area. There's a fair few coming off the bus. No one there. Might just be the wrong time for this. No, for people coming back from the industrial area. everyone looks like they are going to the industry. Seeing people getting off the bus but not necessarily getting on. And there's another industry building on fire, as it usually is. So, still some... Oh, okay, there's a bunch of people getting on there. That's okay. And another bunch of people getting on there. So, that looks like the route. Yes, where it's looping back seems to be the main area. Okay, why are these suddenly... Probably because it was set to random. That's a school bus for whatever reason. So bus, bus, bus and bus. So let's wait here for a bus to come through on this line. If one's actually going to show up in any amount of time. So we want the green bus, not the blue one or the yellow one. The one that's right in the middle. Okay, I don't want to turn the speed up too much because that will obviously potentially impact. Yeah, I'm just zooming out to see if I can actually... Okay, I think the fact that we've been waiting there for a fair bit and there's not actually been one probably tells me that we need to... Yes, there's only 2 vehicles on this route for whatever reason. So vehicle unbunching enables or disables. Game tries to obviously... Okay, we are getting a few more buses through on that one. That should be good. Let's have a look at the other one. That has 5 out of 5. And this one has 10 out of 10. And then this one has 9 out of 9. Okay, so let's have a look at the blue bus routes. So this is going in the opposite direction, but is pretty much right at what is the beginning of the route. So we can go through on this one and have a look, see how busy the stops are, and see if I think we need to increase the amount of buses that we have on the route, because while we have vehicle bunching, my goodness, yes, I will say we need more buses on this route. So this was the blue one, this one here, so, and 12. Okay, we will add 4 more vehicles to that one, and then we will add 3 more vehicles to this one, because that was just, wow, yeah, that was interesting. And the green one, we will bump that up to 7, and then similarly, we will also bump this one up to 7, and hopefully we will be able to see more of what really happens with that. Oh, so we have a bus here that has just started / finished its route. One of the green ones, so let's hop on, metaphorically. A bunch of people there, but hopefully this should start clearing out a little bit, seeing as I've overstuffed the lines. But I mean, surely it's good, showing us how much all of these bus lines are being used. So we do have quite a few people just deciding that they can't really wait any longer. So yes, and unfortunately we can only fit a maximum of 30 people on each bus. So I am tempted to change that up in some way, but for now we have high commercial demand and very high industrial demand. We have unfortunately not quite got to 16,000 population. We are at 13,804 for today, but we will continue on with this at a later date. Now, there is no stream tomorrow. I do not stream on Thursdays, so instead we have our next stream, which is going to be on Friday. And just checking my schedule, that is up on my channel. Our next stream will be Friday. It will be more City Skylines, and we will be aiming for to get to 16,000 people once again. So thank you very much for everyone who's been watching. Thank you to the lurkers who've been hanging around and seeing how this goes. I hope that I'll be able to talk to you again in our next stream. But for now, I am signing off for the stream today, and I will see you again in a couple of days' time. Bye bye for now.